And we are live with We Have Thoughts, just a weekly podcast where we really just talk about whatever is on our mind at the moment, Soto. We really don't have a plan for this. We just what's going on? And then sometimes we do. Sometimes we might hit this, but for the most part, it's just whatever BS has happened to us this week. So,
Yep.
But yeah, football's halfway done. Our movie challenge is only 2 months away from being done. It's like it's like that freedom for us is just right around the corner. It's like we asked for it. Don't get me wrong, we asked for this shit. But this is just nice because it's like we can talk about whatever BS is on our mind. And I always ask you, and we're gonna get to it in a little bit, but I have to ask because it's like, you know what? Let's just whatever thumbnails come to mind. Just send them my way. We'll find a way. Because this week we had no topic. Sometimes it's just like, hey, let's interview each other, ask each other hard questions, maybe this and that. So
yeah,
I wake up this morning because I went back to work, and I wake up, and you sent me something about 11:30 last night, and I'm gonna switch over to it real quick. It's basically us dressed as Ghostbusters in space. Yeah. Fighting a wild turkey. And I'm like, this is kind of funny because, we kind of have the good movie Ghostbusters. Though my suit, my ghost has no head. I don't know why. It just doesn't. And you're not firing anything because it's just like, Chad's got this shit. Don't worry, I'll back him up. Which is okay. We don't need too many. We can't cross the beams. We've learned that in the dire situation.
Right.
And then I look, I'm like, oh, it's like good movie. Then I instantly think Thanksgiving.
Yes. Exactly it.
So, what was your thought process? Because I know you said you were drinking when you created this. I need to understand your thought process for this. Go for it. Go for it. Tell me what you were thinking.
I was like, man, what season is it? And I'm like, well, Thanksgiving. I'm like, is it? Oh, I'm like, of course, Thanksgiving. That's what we do. I was like, we should be fighting this bird somehow. And through whiskey shots and things of that nature, I, for some reason, thought we should be Ghostbusters fighting it in space. It got wacky, but it was supposed to be us fighting the Thanksgiving turkey, which I think there was one in space.
We never saw the third movie because technically there is no second movie, but there's a second sequel. So we don't know. We might. We have yet to talk about, because what we're doing for the 200 movie challenge, we're not really theming anything. I know we kind of Halloween, it just happens that way. But I will say this, Soto. We are 21 movies away, I believe, because I think after our last talk, we hit 179. And obviously 200 is our last. I'm not saying we have to talk about this now, but we do need to start discussing what our 200th movie is going to be. Because it's got to be something we both have seen, that we both can watch and haven't seen. Because, I feel like that's the only way to go. Could Thanksgiving 3 during Christmas time? Because originally we thought, hey, Terrifier 3, because it is kind of Christmas themed a little bit. It is a little bit of mixed, and it would have worked, but it became free earlier because we would have probably ended up paying for it just to finish the trilogy that's been this year. But yes, I'm not saying we have to decide now. But the hard part is finding a movie that neither one of us has, that we both haven't seen. Because obviously, sometimes I've seen a movie, you've seen a movie that kind of fits and just feels like it should be our 200th movie. And I don't want to go to be special, but damn it, Soto.
It's going.
It's going to be. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, is it going to be Thanksgiving 3? Or do we just find the worst Christmas movie, something that we haven't seen? So I don't know. I mean, again, we have probably a few weeks left before we officially have to decide this. But yeah, we have to make 200 something kind of special. We do. It's just what we do. We make the end special. And then after that, we're done with it. We'll have a recap podcast, probably, or the first podcast afterwards. We're going to probably talk about the whole ordeal. But yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm like, shit. What?
The ordeal, oh my god, wow, you're right. It was quite an ordeal.
It was, and it started off just very genuine, and I think it was just because I even said, I'm like, well, why don't we just talk about it? I'm like, we don't need to kind of review it, just kind of why we chose it. I know we still end up reviewing it in a way, and it just, yeah, I know we're going to go into it, but yeah, trying to watch 2 movies a week, especially working and everything else, it's like been a chore. But we're going to talk more about that. But yes, anyhow, so to bring you back to my point, start thinking about what our 200th movie can be. We still got a little time. I'm not saying we have to figure it out now, but in the next 3-4 weeks, we're going to have to figure it out. So, but yeah, so I'm looking at this, I see this, and I'm just like, what was Soda? I mean, I'm like, I can't think I know what Soda was thinking, but I just had a laugh waking up this morning seeing this picture you sent me. So,
yeah, I was inebriated, that's for sure. I also got to still figure out a movie to make you watch too.
We'll talk about that. I don't know if we'll get to it this week, but maybe the following week. So yeah, we'll find a movie and we'll tell each other that movie for the following week because I don't think we're gonna have time. And the one I wanted to have you watch, I don't think it's free anywhere. It's not on Netflix anymore. So I got to do a little searching. So I'm like, shit. So yes, the next time we do an official, because the next episode we record is number 40. So I think, yeah, so that by this Thursday, come with the movie for me. I'll come with the movie for you and be like, and that'll be for the following week. Because I have to really think of something that I don't think you've seen. But I don't want to give you another musical. I mean, I know Sing was kind of musicality, but that wasn't that wasn't a musical.
It was not. It was not.
I mean, it was based on a high school putting on like a musical event, but it's not by my definition. But I knew it wasn't like your forte. But I'm just like, I even said it. I just wanted a chance to talk about it because it was lesser known. So, but so before we kind of get into one of the main topics we talked about from seeing this friggin' thumbnail, I'm just laughing looking at this mad turkey because he is mad. I gotta tell you,
kill us.
He does, and we are busting ghost turkeys or something like that. But Soto, I gotta talk about my week, and I gotta talk about something I ate. Where this is gonna turn into a food podcast a little bit.
As always.
Well, this one's probably something a little different than you're expecting. So okay. Jill and I, we watch the show Good Mythical Morning. Every now and then it's on YouTube. Blah blah blah. They do a lot of eating stuff. They do all these weird things. It's on daily. But they had something like they were ranking random ice cream sandwiches. And now was a couple we tried earlier in the year, which I'm going to get to, but there's one I've never even heard of. And I ended up finding it at Shaw. It's like I kind of looked and I'm like, I got to try this. So did you know Eggo Waffle makes an ice cream sandwich? No. There is an Eggo ice cream sandwich, and the maple one is fucking phenomenal. Now, obviously, you can't think of what a waffle tastes like because it's a little bit different because it's got to be frozen, so it's not like a fresh waffle, but it's actually really good. And then earlier in the year, we discovered Pop-Tarts ice cream sandwiches. I'm like, I gotta try this shit. And
where the fuck are you finding this shit?
Well, that I bought at Walmart. I found it at Walmart. It's
wow.
And there was a brown sugar cinnamon, and then we have there's a Rice Krispie. Like the ice cream sandwiches have gone. But I'm telling you, Soda, if you get a chance, at least the Eggo one. If you're a maple fan, there's a buttery. It's called buttery maple. It's actually really freaking good. But I'm like, Jill's just like, I need that in my life. I'm like, I will find it. So I kind of Googled it. I'm like, well, I know how to DoorDash this shit, and I'm like, Shaw's.
Of course.
They are like Walmart and Target may or may not have it. So I'm like, because Walmart is kind of the go-to just for random stuff. And I went to the gym, and I'm like, there is a Shaw's near there. I'm like, I'm going to peek. And sure enough, they had it, and I had to buy it. But yes, Soto, I don't know how much of an ice cream fan you are, but there are some random ice cream sandwiches going on, and some of them are actually really freaking good.
So, yeah, I like ice cream. I don't remember the last time I had an ice cream sandwich. Yeah, I mean, like Klondike bars, I think I used to eat. It's not an ice cream sandwich, I know. I get it.
No, yeah, I guess it's not. But it's still good. I like a good Klondike bar. Don't get me wrong.
Like I've had those cookie sandwiches that have like the chocolate chips on the side.
Yep. That's the goat.
Those have been good, but well, I mean, that's what the last time I remember having an ice cream sandwich. Because if I do eat ice cream, it's few and far between. It's got to be I really have to go out of my way to think to myself I'm going to eat ice cream. It's kind of like hot dogs. I don't eat too many hot dogs. And by the way, not to go onto a tangent, but okay. Are you aware of the other words for hot dogs? Like the other slang words for hot dogs? Like if I was to tell you, can we get a glizzy together? Like a glizzy?
I've never heard of a glizzy. I mean, when you said that, I'm like, well, I've heard they've been called wieners. I mean, so yes, and that's
what about a shaboing boing?
No, where the fuck are you hearing? No, if I come to your house and we're going to Fenway Park and I'm like, dude, let's go and we're going to get a shaboing boing together. I'm like, what the? No, I'm sorry.
A shablicky shaboing boing, like a real shablicky shaboing boing. That one is like that's one of the newer ones has caused quite, a stir because Sarah's just like, why are we naming things like random nonsense names? Because like glizzy, I've heard like younger people, I don't know where the term glizzy came from for a hot dog, but it's definitely a term for a hot dog that I think has a lot of traction out there. A shaboing boing, that one's a little bit different and not as easy to get used to, but I've seen it on the social medias. I've seen people be like, "Oh, yo, I'm cooking shaboing boings in the middle of the night," and I'm like, "A shaboing boing? I have never heard that." And I'm just wondering, as a fan of Chicago, like, what's your gut reaction?
I hate it. All right, so let me because like you, it's not like my hot dog intake is very far and few between. And yes, I don't do a lot of ice cream. Special occasions here and there, but obviously I had to try this. But anyhow, a shaboing boing. Now I'm going to say this. No, it's just a hot dog. Like I said, as a kid, we've heard him, Oscar Mayer, because Oscar Mayer Wiener, stuff like that. And obviously, when you're a 6 or 7 year old and you have a childlike mind, you're like, he. You know what I mean? Like he said Wiener.
Of course. Yeah.
So when you when you said, I don't even know what a glizzy is until you told. Like you could have told me this, like just talk, and my eyes would have been like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But Soto, here's my point that I got to bring this kind of not full circle, but I'm going to sound old man Chad, and you probably will join me. And the way you're talking about how this shaboing boing on social media talk is, all I hear are kids these days, and they're fucking 6, 7s. And all I want to do is smack someone upside the head. If you came to me and said, and you were legitimately calling it a shaboing boing, I might be like, Soto, no, I'm going to knock some sense into you. To a point. I'm like, dude, no, it's a fucking hot dog. I will give you wiener. I will. Whatever. That's about it. I don't even know any other names because when you said other names, I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm like, to me, the only one that came off top of my head, again, Oscar Mayer Wiener. I'm just like, I've not heard it any other way. It's just, it sounds, again, 2 grown men. If you came over and you're like, Chad, let's go get a wiener. Just say the childish insignia.
Yeah, that would be strange.
But you know what? But you know what I mean. You'd be like, okay, hold on. You're trolling me, but at least I know what you're talking about. But a shaboing boing. I've never heard that, or glizzy. I'm sorry. And yes, I'm fine with just hot dog. Call it what it is. Or call it, a bologna tube, or just something, because obviously no one knows what the fuck's in a hot dog or bologna. It's just there.
Well, bologna's called like hot dog pancakes, right? I've heard that referred to as
yes. I mean, it's pretty similar, which is funny because I don't like bologna. I actually hate that shit.
Oh no, I actually don't like. My brother-in-law loves bologna, and he loves a very specific bologna, but I can't like it. Something about the texture is just, it's not my thing. Like, give me some roast beef, some Italian maybe cured meats if I'm feeling like frisky, but there's just something disgusting about bologna inherently. I don't know why. There's something disgusting about hot dogs, but I feel like I dress up hot dogs more, obviously, than I would a bologna sandwich. Bologna, that doesn't do it for me.
No, I never, even as a kid, I was not a fan of it. So
a bologna sub.
No.
Mayonnaise. Oh God. No. I'm having like flashbacks. Oh no. I should make a horror movie based off bologna and mayo.
That would be a Tubi special. That would be.
Yeah. Oh God.
That movie can be done.
That'd be my version of body horror. Oh God. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, body horror. That's my version of that.
But no, I've not heard any of that hot dog slang. I didn't realize hot dogs had slang. It just sounds like, again, kids with the 6, 7, like it just doesn't make sense. And you want to ask questions, but I think by asking questions, it will hurt my head more. So
yeah,
it used
to be like that for us too. Like we grew up with like Tom Green and shit like that, and like we grew up with some real nonsense shit.
Yeah, but
every generation has their own fucking nonsense.
Okay,
Dude.
and yes, Tom Green is very obnoxious. I never was a huge fan of his either. In very small doses, maybe. I wasn't a big fan of even Freddy Got Fingered.
Oh god.
I vaguely remember the Tom Green show, and then I know whatever. But to me, because for me, he came out. I want to say I was in high school when he was huge because I know I got a few. So yeah, I mean, I get it. You're right. Every generation has their thing, and even like the people before our generation talks about this and that. I'm like, well, you know what? I get it, but to me, there is some sense to it and a reason, whether or not it makes sense to everyone else. You're like, this got big because of this. Yes, it's like the what the that was, you really think about it, I'm like, that went way overboard, got way fucking stupid. But it was just from a dumbass Budweiser commercial with the scream mask and the stuff like that, and just whatever.
I mean, it's funny. It's funny now because nobody knows where that's from.
Correct.
So I will quote that ironically now because people just a lot of people I know, 30 years ago wasn't a long time ago. So I have some friends that are in their 30s, and I'm like, oh my god, you were born in the 90s? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I grew up with South Park, Beavis and Butthead. But yeah, you go into the playground, as I remember, or you go into anywhere, and it's like a phrase or a sound all of a sudden becomes like a virus, a mind virus, and then everybody's doing it, and it's the cool thing to say and everything like that. And I'm sure I've forgotten those kinds of things. I'm sure there's a reason they call it glizzies, and I'm sure there's a reason it's called a shaboing boing. I am not aware of those things, but I don't know. Like, we talked about all this slang stuff a few years ago, didn't we? Like,
well, that was the first wave. I think we need to do a second wave. Yeah, because because Jill works with high school kids, and some, it started with Cap, and I was just like, what the fuck's Cap? Like, obviously, I'm not around kids, and she explained to me. I probably heard it a little bit more since then, but I'm just like, oh, that sounds stupid, but okay, whatever. And yeah, that first episode we did, or that episode with slang, just see how much you knew. But you were like, I'm around more kids these days. I know some of these, but yes, there's more slang now.
I think it fell off though. I think it'd be good to redo it because I think I definitely have lost touch.
Oh, maybe, but there's also probably newer words because every generation, every 3 or 4 years, there's something new. Hence the 6, 7, the shaboing boing, whatever else there might be. And you just, like I said, you're right. We had stupid shit like South Park and Beavis and Butthead, but at least those were dumb and they kept us entertained for 30 minutes. So there is something there. I know it's not for everyone, but again, I go back to the 6, 7. I'm like, I think it's from a rap song, from my understanding. But just the whole thing, kids just lose their shit. They hear it, and I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on? Yeah. Shaboing boing is 6, 7. Kids are just probably like get possessed.
A shablicky shaboing boing. A shablicky ass shaboing boing.
Oh my god. I would like to
you're like, I'm not saying words. Just making sounds while we're doing.
That's what we're doing on this podcast, just saying shit. Skibbity this, skibbity that, and just boing boing glizzy, 6, 7. Yo.
Oh my god. We're eternally Steve Buscemi holding a skateboard. That's you and I. Hello, fellow kids. It's you and I right now, man. Getting older is just part of the gig. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, everybody, if you're 21 years old right now and you're have the misfortune of listening to us talk about this, age is coming for you too, and there'll be a time where you look back and go, "What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
How did the world pass me by?"
Oh my god. I don't get it. I mean, again, I know it's going to be old man Chad, but there's just like, at least some of the things I got and understood. It just wasn't my generation. But like nowadays, I'm like, can we even talk to kids these days?
I mean, I don't talk to too many. I mean, I have my niece, and I think I talked about it last time or I think I mentioned it, I'm not sure, but of like all the positive affirmations they have in school these days. So, but she's in second grade, I want to say. God. You know what I mean? Like, second grade, like in the year 2025. Yeah, it's fucking wild.
That is crazy. I mean, think about that. 10 years she'll be graduating. And then you just think, we're that society. Oh my god! Like I know
2035. Well,
2035. I'm gonna be almost 60.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
that's 10 years from now.
It's just funny because again, going from coaching, and we were coaching a bunch of 9 and 10-year-olds, and I sometimes just felt like old then. Um, just trying to teach them football, this and that, and there's some things, sometimes it felt like babysitting. Because again, I get it. Kids are going to be kids. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to happen. You get 8 or 9 of them together. It's hell sometimes, but you're like, all right. And then I start thinking, like, oh my god, these kids are gonna be graduating in 9, 10 years. I'm feeling old. Like this is our future, and this is how our parents' generation looked at us. Like, oh my god, these kids in the 80s and 90s watching South Park and Beavis and Butthead. What's wrong? What's gonna happen? And it's just an ongoing cycle. So you know what? So if we ever, and it's never gonna happen, if I'm ever back in Chicago and I'm gonna order a hot dog, I need to probably get there soon before the lingo changes. But I will do my best, and I will do it with the straight face. Like, hey, can I get a shaboing boing without ketchup? See what you might be hearing me get my ass kicked, but
I guarantee somebody would laugh their ass off if you did that. I would laugh if somebody said that to me. Because again, I mean, Sarah's younger than I am, and I said it to her, and she was like, "That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard." But what are words, anyways, Chad? What are words?
They're things we use to converse with other people.
Right, the agreed upon like sounds that kind of come out of our mouths with definitions to them that we all can have agreed that yes, when you say hot dog, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, the majority of people should know what we're talking about. You say
hot dog.
This sounds like a scam. We just need people who go out and talk to like the public and interview them on TikToks should ask just random people what a shaboing boing is and give an honest answer. I would love to see that. Get some 67, from like every age group, and just see what they think it is with no context.
I know. Oh my god, so true. You know what? This started off with ice cream sandwiches.
It did. It did. Well, you know what? That's what happens when we talk food. It just kind of goes into whatever direction. And yeah, you brought up shaboing boings and glizzies, and yep. Now I kind of want a hot dog, but that's for a different day.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had my hot dogs, I think, for the next year because I had 2 the night I watched The Crow, and I had 2 the other day, and I was just like, man, I'm good with hot dogs for a bit.
I think the last time I had them was when we went to Fenway, so that was back in August.
There's no nutritional value. No, there's no nutritional value to a hot dog.
Nope.
I don't think there is. I think only bad things can happen from eating a hot dog.
You don't want to know what's in a hot dog. That's basically it.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, don't put ketchup on it though.
No. Well, you can, just not around Chicago or me. Or people with taste. If you're a kid, I guess it's okay.
Your kid put that ketchup on your scrambled eggs like a good kid.
Oh god, that's gross. I never understood that. I never understood.
People do it, man.
No.
I know a grown man right now in his 60s who I have watched at breakfast drown his scrambled eggs in ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine?
No. We used to go. No. I mean, again, I don't know how old I was, a kid, 9, 10, 11, whatever, and my dad had a couple friends. They had like a cabin on Lake Winnipesaukee, and I just remember one time this is the first time I can remember this instance happening. Someone putting ketchup on eggs, and I just looked. I'm like, I was like, that sounds gross. Like they're like, oh, it's really good. And I think I tried it once. I'm like, because as a kid, I've said this. I didn't mind ketchup. I grew out of it, but I could never get it. I don't understand why people put ketchup on eggs. I'm fine with just eggs. Just give me the fucking eggs.
Yeah, no, ketchup on eggs does not work for me. Like, could I see ketchup on home fries?
Yes.
Even then, I'm kind of iffy, but it's potatoes at least. It's like French fries.
I can see
eggs.
Yeah.
Oh no. I don't know if there's a slang for eggs, but I don't want to know about it.
Shaboing boings and I don't know. You would have to look that up. Again, just go order that. And let's see what people say. Just they look at you like, get the fuck out. But,
yeah, most people would.
But yeah, so I mean, back to the ice cream sandwiches. If you're in an ice cream mood, they're actually the Eggo ones are good. one of the Pop-Tart ones are good. And yeah, the Rice Krispie one, I'm like, that doesn't sound good, but I don't know. But yes, we tried Eggo ice cream sandwiches, and they were decent. They were decent. We liked them. Just the maple ones. My wife loves the maple ice cream, so I think that's
I'll
what
see
happened.
what's at Market Basket. Market Basket, it's the old place I go. Stop and Shop is, when we need to.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah.
no, for me, it's only Market Basket. Walmart and Hanover. Like I said, I went to the gym the other day, and there's a Shaw's nearby, and they said they had it in Shaw's. I'm like, I'm just gonna look, and lo and behold, they did. I'm like, holy shit! So, which, all right, I'm gonna go on a food tangent again, just kind of before we get to this movie shit. And I don't know if I asked you. I think I asked a different friend, but if I repeat myself from this, something else I've seen, so be it. So there's a lot, and so it might have been a conversation we had, and I apologize if we did. But there's a lot of frozen pizzas. Do you know Cheez-Its makes a frozen pizza?
No. I think I would have remembered this conversation.
Okay. I'm not seeing it in the store, but I saw a picture of it, and yes, they have their own brand of frozen pizza. I don't know if it's, look it up. I don't know. I'm kind of curious. It's just a basic frozen pizza. I just don't know, like maybe the Cheez-It frozen pizza. And it, but yeah, it is a thing. It's I don't know if it's like a full slice. It's like more of a maybe a single serving, or like those Leos or other ones. Like it's not
it's like square.
Yes. I think they did do that because of the fact, obviously, cheeses. But like now, I'm curious. I haven't seen it anywhere, and I'm not going to order this off of DoorDash. I've never used DoorDash in my life.
What it says. Oh God, I wish I could say the same. I mean, I have a DoorDash problem, but yeah, Cheez-It pizza, hella good, but hella salty. It's literally a pizza on a big Cheez-It.
Well, maybe I don't know. Is that a cheese?
The cheese is definitely comes through. So like the crust is one big Cheez-It.
Cheez-It flavored crust. So yeah, there it is. I'm gonna read it with you now. So damn. But again, it's curiosity and just the shit that they make. And yeah, I saw that. I'm like, why? But then it's like you see that, like, well, I gotta try that shit. So,
dude, I can already feel my heartburn beginning just looking at that. I'm like, I'm good. I got my Red Baron. That is my go-to frozen pizza. I really don't buy any other frozen pizza besides Red Baron. That is it. That's my go-to. The Red Baron classic crust used to be like fucking $2 or $3 at Walmart back in the day in my Nashua days, but now it's like around like $4. But yeah, Red Baron classic crust. I mean, when I'm feeling like I don't want to make anything, that's what I do.
all right, let's get away from food for a little bit, Soto. And so when you showed me that thumbnail, and we were kind of discussing this, the one with us being Ghostbusters and killing, thanks killing. Again, I think that
showdown.
It is. It's basically made me think of, hey, this is a weird mix of a good movie and a very bad movie. So obviously,
it was not good. No.
We've seen a shit ton of movies this year doing our 200 movie challenge. We've seen a shit ton of movies in our lifetime. I honestly think on Letterboxd, I am close to my 3,000th movie that I know of that I've put on Letterboxd. Now I know some of them might be like Doctor Who specials, so whatever. But either way, it's insane, and it made me wonder because we've been talking about all these movies. We've been talking about movies in the past. And I know this is going to be a very subjective subject because some people, what they find good, what they enjoy in a movie is different than other people. So in your opinion, because this is going to be hard to debate, but like when you're watching a movie, what makes a movie to you good? What makes a movie happen and you're like, I need to see this again? And I know this is broad, but I just feel like we got to start somewhere. But I got to ask you, like, what part of a movie makes you like it first? If that makes any fucking sense. I'm trying to make sense. It makes sense in my head.
I'll talk about afterwards about what movies I don't like now. Because after what I saw this morning. Not spoiling Thursday, but it raises a question in my mind about that particular genre. But good movies to me, like a great setup. And I don't like things overly complicated. I like when, like if we talked about, rules are set and they're adhered to. But then also, I do like movies that end in a way that I wasn't seeing, or wasn't expecting.
Mm-hmm.
I like when this is hard for me to describe because I like when sometimes I like predictable, and it's okay. Like you consume predictable and it's fine. Sometimes I like being like wrong, and then when the movie goes in that direction, that's better than what. Like I'm wrong, but it's better than what I thought it could be. Those are usually the movies that stick with me the most. Is when they've kind of had this great sort of setup and ending and payoff, along with I don't necessarily need great dialogue. I like some good shots, but overall, like I like a classic 3-act structure, and that just leaves me feeling sort of good at the end. And it's a very oversimplified, non-nuanced way of me saying that because I have a wide variety of movies that I like, but typically that's what I'm looking for. I don't want things to be long. Although the movie I saw today was 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oof.
Yeah. That's a little bit on the long side, but if the pacing is there, it doesn't feel long, right?
Correct.
So, again, just like good solid story with a good solid payoff that I feel is not cheesy. Yeah, that I think that's a good place to start.
So, what you're telling me, and again, to simplify it, because I know we kind of did this in a gaming way. Is this important in gaming? I think we talked about special effects important in gaming, or is I forget what they were. So basically, from that, what you're saying is maybe the most important thing to you for enjoyment that makes a movie good to you is the story, because correct.
Yeah.
Because we don't need special. Yeah. To me, I'm like special effects are good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with you because. And it's just like, again, going back to a lot of the 80 movies we've seen, you love, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, just picking a couple that off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, there's an absurd plot to them, in a way. If you really think about it, Back to the Future, time travel can happen, but they set the rules. They're like, these are just our rules. Just enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And, Ghostbusters, I sorry if I'm going to offend people, but I'm sorry. There's no such thing as ghosts, but that's a story maybe for another day. But to the point,
yeah,
I know, but to the extent of what Ghostbusters is. But right. I think I agree because I was trying to think like what is the most important thing to me as a movie, and I don't know, maybe it's changed since I was a kid, but especially the movies I've seen now. But you're right. It's like you got to keep me entertained. If it's going to be over 2 hours, it better not feel like 2 hours. God. But what helps is mainly the story. Am I intrigued? Are you giving me a little something new? And predictability is fine. Because sometimes we've talked about it, popcorn flicks. Like, you know what? I just want to sit back. Give me stupid. I'm okay with it. But I think the movies that if you see the ones like mostly in my top 10, as far as the ones 200 movie challenge, it's just like, they're just good stories. There's nothing much to it, and they did it correctly. But mm-hmm. So I guess now comes the question: does a bad story, if the movie has no story, no plot, does it instantly? Is there any redeeming value, or is it just a bad movie? Let's think about Thanksgiving. What made Thanksgiving suck for us? Why was that a bad movie? And that was a bad movie. I'm sorry if anyone actually.
God, I mean, it was just like this. I mean, it was. I think. If I'm remembering Thanksgiving, and you have to understand my brain has deleted Thanksgiving from my brain.
It's been a year, so I don't blame you for forgetting that.
Self-deleting thing. But when you have a bad movie, like I saw Velocipaster, right? Objectively, not a good movie, although I have it ranked higher than Oppenheimer. Not a good movie. But it knew that it wasn't a good movie, and it was entertaining and not boring. So Thanksgiving, again, we talked about how many movies have you seen this year that we've talked about in your list where it's like great premise, great setup, loses steam, right? And I think that's even with the bad movies we hate. It's like maybe the first 25 minutes, like, their gimmick is like kind of funny because it's like, oh my God, this is so bad. But then it like kind of falls off. Slaughterhouse was kind of like this. you got to keep it entertaining and keep it not boring, even if it's only like 80 minutes long. And I think that Thanksgiving at the end got towards boring and got towards stupid and got towards, I want this to be over, please, like as soon as possible. Like I was no longer interested in what was happening. Just because the story just took so many stupid ass turns.
Mm-hmm.
So good story, not boring. Is that like the first two? Don't be boring. Like you can literally have a pastor who turns into a velociraptor at night. Don't be boring. Be funny. Like engage me throughout the entire time. Don't have pacing issues. Like keep it tight. No bullshit. But I don't want to come out of a movie like, or actually not out of a movie, but I don't ever in a movie want to be thinking to myself, how much longer is left in this movie?
Correct.
If I ask myself that question, and I've done it plenty of times this year, if I ask myself that question, that's not a movie that I'm probably ever going to see again.
Yeah, I know I've said that quite a lot, where it just feels like you're waiting for the clock to run out.
Oh, so, that's not good.
No, it's not.
That's worse. Like at least like if you're a bad movie and you're entertaining and you're not paying attention to time, like that's at least a win. But if you're like, God Almighty, I'd like to get on with the rest of my day, that's tough.
So I know we've seen a shit ton of movies this year, but I want to ask you a question that maybe not something you've seen, this year, maybe something in the past, just before we took part and embarked in this journey. So let me ask you this, what movie did you go into that surprised the shit out of you, that you might not have thought that you would have actually enjoyed, that maybe it started off slow and stupid, as you said, but kind of, got to its pace, or just like, damn, I really love that movie. What's a movie that surprised you that you actually liked, that surprised you? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time too. When I had first seen the trailers for Fight Club, I was like, and this was like what, late 90s?
I think that was a 99 movie. I could be wrong, but yes.
Yeah. I was like, this looks like the dumbest movie I've ever seen in my life. And at the time, my girlfriend was like, oh, I really want to see it. She likes Brad Pitt. And I said, okay. And man, I came out of that movie and I was like, oh, that is one of the greatest movies of all time that I've ever seen. And I went into it being like, I am not expecting anything. And I saw it in theaters and I came out mind blown. Close second to Fight Club, right around the same time. And this is actually kind of funny. The Matrix. Another movie that I thought in the commercials looks so dumb. And in the trailers, I was like, those special effects look stupid. And then when I watched it in the theater, I came out and was like, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I don't know how closely those two came out, but I remember.
I think same year, because I know Matrix, I think, was 99. I'm going to look this up. And
I saw them both in the theater. And both times I said, I walked in being like, this is going to be dumb. And I came out with some of the two of the best movies that I've ever seen in my life. So I'm sure there's been other examples, but those are the ones that like are at the top of my head, for my whole life. Like 1999, obviously, 26 years ago.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's one thing, but I remember that very, very clearly, going to theater being like Fight Club, especially, I had no idea what it was about. I didn't think it was going to be some sort of counterculture, like just kind of interesting ideas and mental illness stuff, like, and then a plot twist. I didn't expect any of that.
No, I agree. And I don't think I saw either one of those in theaters, because at that time in my life, because they both came out in 1999, and I'm just trying to think, because I was just out of college. I was still trying to figure out a lot of stuff. And so, yeah, I don't think I saw that time, like literally 98 to maybe 2000. Not that I didn't see a lot of movies. I just didn't go to the theater as much, because I used to go to theaters so much as high school, during college. I actually remember where I was when I saw The Matrix for the first time, and I bought it. I bought it on DVD. I'm like, I know I'm going to like this. Back in the day when we bought just physical movies just for no reason, just like, yeah, And same thing with Fight Club. I've just heard so many good things, and the fact that people are comparing it to a lot of the other movies I like. So that's just weird. Like Fight Club, I can see. I can see, when you're, thinking back, going in hindsight, going back to when it first came out, people being, I hate to use this, because I know you weren't confused, but like people just like, what the fuck is this movie about? What, I don't get it. They're fighting, they're doing this shit. Because remember the trailers, it was kind of all over the place, but it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And then you see it, you're like, holy shit, this makes sense. Whereas The Matrix, that surprises me. Because, I mean, I try not to laugh when you said the special effects look like shit. And I'm like, I never heard what. Never once thought that.
In the trailers that I saw, it just didn't look appealing at all. But in the context of watching the movie and how it all came together, then it's like I was like, oh, okay, no, this is actually better than I thought it was going to be. It just looked dumb. It looked dumb to me. I'm wrong.
No, nothing wrong. I did not expect that answer. And don't get me wrong, because people are like, hey, The Matrix, whatever, and that's fine. I mean, I love the first Matrix. I'll never talk about any of the other 3 films after that because they don't exist in my brain or my heart. But the fact that you just said the special effects look stupid, I'm like, the one thing that I feel like a lot of people agreed on, whether they loved it or hate it, just like, yeah, the special effects are amazing. You're just like, nah, it looks stupid. But like I said,
that's how I was at first. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I didn't know what to think. I didn't know, for me, I had no context of a movie called The Matrix. Now it's like part of our popular culture and our subconscious, but because now it's like people refer to The Matrix all the time. Oh, we're in The Matrix right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, again, Fight Club, I just think the marketing was weird. And I didn't understand it at all, and I didn't understand why Brad Pitt was saying, I want you to hit me as hard as you can. I thought it was like a bro action movie. I did not expect to find what I found, which is, in my mind, Fight Club is a masterpiece. So
it is. And I think part of the reason I was excited for it before I saw it, I mean, yeah, Brad Pitt, but Edward Norton, that era of Edward Norton is really good. I remember seeing the first movie. I went to the theaters to see the first movie he ever did, Primal Fear. I don't know if you remember Primal Fear.
Of course I do. That was his big star-making hit.
Correct, because he stole the movie. He wasn't even because Richard Gere, I forget the female lawyer, but that kind of twist. But even then, like I think I was dating someone because I think that was 90s based on who I saw it with. That had to be 97, 98. And I came out and I even looked at it, I said, I'm like, he is brilliant. And I'm like, I kind of learned like that was his first movie. And yeah, I love Edward Norton and so many of the movies he's done. So yeah, Fight Club, I'm like, all right, I'm in. But yeah, thinking back to what that trailer was, yeah, definitely. And I have an answer for you, which is going to be funny in hindsight. Speaking about trailers that make no sense, Pulp Fiction. We've talked about how much a masterpiece is, but this is 94. So I was a sophomore in high school, and a lot of the seniors, I remember just seeing the previews beforehand. I'm like, it made no sense to me at first at that time, because I think that was the year I really started understanding films, or I guess getting more into the adult films or different kind of film, because I was in video production. That's when I started. So I was learning so much more and I was seeing more. But the seniors in my class were like raving about this. I'm like, this makes no sense. It sounds so stupid. It looks stupid. I understand why now they found it, because it was brilliantly told. But if you remember, kind of like Fight Club, I don't know the previews there, because so much was happening. If someone were to ask you in 1994 what Pulp Fiction was about before seeing it, just from the trailer, like, what would you even say?
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, impossible to know. I mean, I didn't even like Pulp Fiction the first time I saw it, because I didn't understand what the big deal was. I had to see Pulp Fiction multiple times to be like, okay. And then when I started to get it, then I was like, oh my God, like I'm the one that was dumb. I didn't get it, but I had seen it. I mean, dude, I was like in fucking, I want to say 7th or 8th grade,
That tracks.
So I didn't understand like the inherent coolness of Pulp Fiction, because I didn't understand irony really in any sort of way in 7th or 8th grade. But as I got older and started understanding those things, and then obviously watching other movies and kind of having that context, like then it started to click. And once it clicked, and I watched it over and over again, and I don't even know how many times I've seen it now, but I've seen it so many fucking times. and I discovered so many things about it every single time I watched it. That's when it really started to click for me. But you're right. Like, who the fuck would know what? How do you describe that movie to anybody? Like, it's really difficult to kind of. It's the vibe of it is its whole entire thing. Unfortunately, it started a bunch of other shitty movies where people try to like emulate that dialogue, and that like was the trend. But yeah, no, I had no idea what Pulp Fiction was about, even after watching it.
Yeah, not just the dialogue, but the way stories are told. Because
Mhm.
which movies have done it probably beforehand. Don't get me wrong, and even afterwards, and some of them succeed. Just when they kind
Mhm.
of original. Because of going back to something we talked about this past Thursday, Memento. Just
Yeah.
it's okay to copy to a point a movie, a style, because so much has been done. It's so hard to be original nowadays, but do it in a way where it's not blatant and do it in a way that actually makes sense and entertaining. Because like I said, Memento starts from the end, and then I know you talked about Tenet, which was all over the place. Which, like you were explaining it to me, and my head hurt just listening to you. Just about
Dude,
Tenet.
watch it. You should watch it.
I know
You
I
should.
will because of Nolan and stuff like that. And it's just like just things are so. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like going back to what makes a movie good for me, it's just like an original storytelling. Just tell me something. I don't. The acting needs to be decent. I mean, you can't have bad actors, obviously, but everything else about it you can get away with. Like you can have maybe not the best actors, but the story's there. Yeah, definitely carries it. So, well,
Well, here's a question for you.
okay, go for it.
I know we've asked this before, and if we have,
Hey, we
fuck
can
it,
ask
who
again. So
cares?
what? We forget things. This is our podcast. We can talk about what we want.
In your opinion, what makes a movie more? The actor or the director? And a great
So hold
performance.
on.
Yes.
More for us as the viewer.
Yeah.
Okay. So my answer would be actor, and
You work at
I
Blockbuster.
well, this is true too. But
That's a
I
Blockbuster employee answer right there.
it is. Now having done film, I hate to say films, but just knowing, understanding film stuff like that. It all, I
Mhm.
get it. Why the director? Because he's got to piece everything together. Now I'm only looking at one thing because you said an actor and director, and yes, some
Mhm.
directors, especially newer actors, obviously have to give them guidance. They find the right shot. They're like, all right, we got to do this take whatever 10, 15, 20 times until it's done right. Bottom line is you can have here's the thing. You can have great actors and a bad director. And
Mhm.
that we're seeing that, and we as viewers can enjoy it more because there's a more believability to it. They can
Mm.
take it something out of the role. If you have a great director with bad actors, you are taken out of it. And that's part of the reason I
Got
will
it.
answer that. Because again, do not get me wrong, a great director is going to help actors, but some of the best, there's just a little leeway, and especially now you hear more improvisation, and some of them are giving their opinions, but they're the face. Sadly, 90% of the people will know more actors than directors. Unless
Mhm.
if you're a film nerds like us, yes, we can rattle off a lot of directors, and people are just like, oh yeah, they're gonna know Spielberg, they're gonna know this, but you get down the list, they're like, who? So
Regular people don't give a fuck. Regular
no, they
people
don't.
don't
They
give a
just
fuck.
want to. They just want the enjoyment. But the thing is, the
Mhm.
actors are kind of the face of it, and they are the ones that we are watching. Now, yes, a good director has to put them in the right. If you're looking at the overall director, just the scene and everything like that. But in my opinion, if you have a great actor and everything else is bad, the great actor can probably carry it enough where we can enjoy it. Where if you have a bad actor and a great director, they might not get that out of it, and we're just like, God, these lines are
Mhm.
bad. And we've seen 200 movies where we're like, God, this, because we've even seen, some directors have, even some actors have misses too. But that's how I feel. I think if you have a great actor, it'll carry more weight than a great director. You need both, but you know what? Let me bring it to sports. That's kind of like who is more important to the Patriots, Belichick or Brady? Brady was the face. He
Right.
had to do the shit that Belichick told him. If Brady was,
Yeah,
whatever,
to
just
execute it.
Yeah, if Belichick, in the 2000s, if it wasn't him, it was Mac Jones and his skill set, it would not have worked. I'm sorry. Bledsoe would have came back basically, but yeah, Brady had to execute everything. But
Yes.
he knew the plan. You still need that director to get everything set up, which helps. Do not get me wrong. Great director makes great films for the most part. But if you have a bad director, yeah, you know what? How many of there's Patriot teams who probably had no business making the AFC Championship, Super Bowl, whatever, but they did because of Brady. You know what I'm saying? That was that because of how he brought together the team. And there's probably good movies where or bad movies where like, yeah, but this person, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head where you're just like, yeah, but this person definitely carried it. So that's my
Once Bitten. Once Bitten, for sure,
God.
starring Jim Carrey. Like, that's the first one that I think of because that movie's objectively terrible. But Jim Carrey's in it.
He makes it watchable. He makes it watchable.
He elevates it because you're watching him. Like, could anybody else do Ace Ventura: Pet Detective other than Jim Carrey?
No.
Like, otherwise, that movie is terrible. But because he's him, he's so magnetic on the screen, right? It's like you're like, okay, like he's great. And there's been a lot of very professional directors that you would never know the names of who've done some movies with great actors that the actors, they were great, but the director's there to just make sure that the actor is the show, because that's who's getting, like, the director doesn't get paid as much as the actors do because the actors have an inherent value and cash value that they're going to bring to a project. Like, so you would pay like somebody, I don't know who's the newest star, but like, let's say Ryan Gosling, right? I'm just throwing it out there. You pay him like $10 million for a film, $15 million for a film, because you're going to recoup at least that much based on people who are just simply, they'll watch anything that Ryan Gosling is in.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't do that for directors.
No.
Like, and the general public doesn't show up unless it's like Steven Spielberg. But even then, you're not looking at Steven Spielberg. I mean, you're looking at like his direction and cinematography choices and how he works with everybody on set. But you're watching the people on screen do. They're the actors. Then they become the characters. They drive the story. You relate to them, or you hate them, and all of your hopes and dreams of what the movie will end up being now relies on people's dialogue and their face. So I think that, and we had customers all the time come to Blockbuster. That's why I said it's a Blockbuster. You had to be a Blockbuster employee to like think this too, but nobody was ever asking about directors to us at the front counter. They're just like, what's this movie with this guy in it? Jet Li, is he in this movie?
Well, like you said, they are the face of the movie. And they're the ones that are on the red carpet doing the promotions. They're the ones that people want to see. And that should tell you stuff right there. And yes, occasionally Spielberg, there's a select few, maybe opening night, stuff like that, or like the Oscars. But for the most part, yeah, you pay the actors because it's not just what they do in the movie. It's everything they do afterwards and stuff like that. Like you said, it's like, we could probably think of movies that have been done by famous directors. Like, hey, did you know, so and so did this, and Quentin Tarantino did this movie, and you're like, wait, what? I mean, I know that might be a more famous name, but yeah, people can list off whatever, a million Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds, movies, and but that you pay the face, and they're also a bad movie. A director can maybe get away from it, whereas you think of bad movies with actors that sometimes it's come close to killing a career too. I mean,
yeah,
that's the thing. It's like, oh, well, they did this. Well, it's the actor's fault, not the director's. You tend to forget. Though there's only so many chances, but yeah, to me, a good actor makes a movie better. Whereas a bad actor could definitely take it no matter the director. And yeah, Jim Carrey's probably a good, the Once Bitten. That's a good answer right there.
Yeah,
I forgot that we saw that.
It's just, sometimes somebody's charisma that's all it takes for a movie to be successful. There's plenty of comedians who have built their careers off of just being themselves. Hell,
Adam Sandler,
Jason Statham, not a comedian, but movies are pretty fucking funny to me.
Yeah, no, everything's a Jason Statham movie. He plays himself. And he could be a real, who knows? He could actually be a real nice guy, not even like that guy. But every time we see him, he's like, that's Jason. That's just a Jason Statham movie. That's who it is.
And so. there's a fan base for it.
Yeah.
Just like the Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh, yeah, I think I quit after 7. I think I was on I went away for work, and I think they had like a marathon, and that's how I saw like 5, 6, and 7. Because I think I saw the first 4. I'm like, all right, I've had enough of this. Like, talk about plots that go nowhere. They go from it started off with them stealing cars, and that was kind of the plot point that made sense. And then they became superheroes. Somehow Vin Diesel could punch the ground, break the cement. I'm like, when did he become a fucking superhero? And they're shooting cars out of planes and space, whatever. It's just like, wow, talk about a franchise that just said, fuck it, we don't care. We're just going to give you action scenes. This is who we are. People still pay.
It's awesome. That makes me want to watch it.
How many have you seen, though? How many, honest to God? I know you've seen, we talked about like Tokyo Drift.
I stopped at Tokyo Drift. I never watched another one after that. So I don't know what number that is. I know Tokyo Drift is like a prequel.
Tokyo Drift. No. Tokyo Drift is not a prequel. It's actually a sequel. It just takes place.
Well, yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. But I stopped there. I didn't see any need to continue, but I am curious to continue. And if I see any for free, maybe I will. And again, it goes back to what makes a good movie. Just keep my attention. That's all. Although sometimes, I've said this many times, action can be boring to me if it's not done right. Like sometimes I just don't like. I find action to be very monotonous if it's not done in an interesting way. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like any movie, any genre. Comedies are subjective, though, I guess. But like if the jokes aren't missing, you're just if it's cringe. Like, for me, cringe. I can't stand cringe comedy. I don't get it. It's not for me. I get some people just love it. So anytime I watch it, I literally have my hand in my head like I can't watch this anymore. But bad action. Speaking of which, I know I saw this movie way back in the beginning, but that's why I cannot stand Lift, the one with Kevin Hart. Like it was all the same. Like I've seen it countless times. I'm like, it just felt like every other movie I saw. Oh, but all right. Anything else leading to this? Movies are good, or any other questions you got at the moment, or that kind of popped in your head?
I mean, how do you feel about body horror?
Are we talking about like Terrifier shit? Or what?
Like Saw is kind of like body horror,
all right?
Right?
So gore. So kind of. I guess. I mean, I guess I just need to understand what the definition of body horror is. Just basically like mutilation horror, or just.
Isn't Human Centipede like body horror?
I guess. I'm honestly asking because I know I only saw the first Human Centipede once.
I mean, gross things happening to a body. I think.
Okay. So, I don't know.
It's based on because obviously I watched the movie I watched earlier today, so it's got me thinking.
And I guess it depends. It depends on how over the top it is too, because we've talked about the Terrifier films, and I know it's just the vibe of that kind of movie, and it makes me just look away. But again, that from the first movie, when she gets split in half the way she does, like that's, I hate to say memorable, but it's that kill is going to stick with me for the rest of my life as far as movies go. There's not much I remember. 2 or 3. I mean, 2 or 3, I just remember a lot of over the top, in your face, sometimes shocking, just happens quickly. So it's not like I remember a lot, just the brutality of it all. That scene is one, and I hate to use the word iconic, but that is something that's going to always stay with me. It was done in a way that was shocking at the right time, and I think just everything that's happened in the last 3 films just try to replicate it. So, yeah, I mean, it is hard to watch. I also go back to, you mentioned Saw. I feel like, that's, some of it was tough to watch, and some of it was okay. It's not over the top. But then I think of the movie Hostel. Like that, I remember a couple scenes that were just very, very brutal there too. Not Terrifier. Nothing to me has been Terrifier brutal. That might be the most brutal that I've seen.
That's my bar right there for being like, it can be worse. Although the movie I saw today, I mean, it was very realistically gross at times. And cringy, not in the oh my god I'm embarrassed way, but cringy in the oh my god why am I looking at this? I don't know if I've gotten too old for body horror because I was going back and forth with my friend. We were texting because he's the one that recommended it to me, and I've laughed at him because he said his favorite movie genre is horror. I think that mine might be, but because I feel like I watched horror movies. I think like the majority of movies I watch are always scary. And I'll probably watch another scary one. I know Frankenstein is coming out or came out on Netflix. But I like scary. I like slashers. I don't know if I like just the overtly like disgusting body stuff. Like I don't like that. Like Terrifier, the whole entire Terrifier movie thing. I don't. And I said this in the review too. I don't know what audience that's for. I mean, I do know who it's for, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
It's way over the top. I have zero interest in ever watching anything like Human Centipede. So that will not be on my 200 movie challenge. Like, I don't find those to be pleasurable experiences. Now, the movie that I saw today, I struggle with it because, should I? It did create a visceral experience, a visceral reaction to what I was seeing, which I think is successful in a movie. But I didn't like. It wasn't fun. Does that make sense? It was like horrifying to look at, and it got me really thinking, being like, I don't want to watch body horror movies anymore. I think I just want to watch spooky paranormal horror. Maybe some slashers. I don't know. I haven't seen the Screams past Scream 3. But I'm assuming, yeah, they have kills, but they're not like overtly gross.
No.
Right?
No, nothing. I mean, they get bloody, but it's not, again, not anything bloody like that. Not as bloody as Saw or anything like that. Like I said, the Scream franchise, kind of like in a weird way, everything is connected. Which is, again, believe it or not, just go along with the fun of it all. It's funny that you haven't seen past 3. I need to rewatch Scream 3 before Scream 7 comes out. It's the one that I least remember, and I feel like the one that's going to be the most connected to the new one. But that's beside the point. But I don't know. I'm with you. Like, the Terrifier films have been shocking, and you know what? If done right or done at the right moment in a movie, it's, even though we're kind of, if I'm cringing or can't watch it, like, that might be too, it can be effective. It's when you try too hard to duplicate it and just like, all right, now you've kind of lost me personally. Again,
right.
Some of these movies are, for some people, they're fine with it. I'm not. And I guess from what I remember of Human Centipede, like I know the concept of it, it just wasn't, it actually was very slow because it's a different kind of horror. It's not, I know they're kind of sewed together, but it's not like overly bloody, anything like that. It's more of a psychological horror, which kind of is more my speed. I know you mentioned supernatural. I like the psychological a little bit more. But I think, if I remember correctly, I just got bored with Human Centipede. I don't consider it was not that it wasn't good. It just wasn't, I guess a good horror movie. I just didn't find it scary, but I guess some people are like, well, that could happen. Well, no, it can't. I'm like, there's no way that can biologically happen between 3 people. I'm sorry.
No.
But you know what I mean? It's just, but so I was a little worried going into it because, again, I've obviously heard so much about it and people are, I kind of knew the premise, but overall it was a different kind of horror than I think you expect it to be. Because you mentioned body horror. Yes, it happens. But they're covered up with like bandages and just so you never see it to that point. It was never disgusting. It was just, it was a slow movie. And I don't know. I was like, God, I honestly thought it was going to be better or even maybe more disgusting. Again, it fell flat with me. So yeah, there's like 2 or 3 sequels. I'm like, I don't care to see them. I'm not saying go out and see it, Soto. It does not have to be there's nothing I'm not recommending this to you. I'm just saying it may not be what you're expecting. Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's, again, maybe old man Chad. I just like a good slasher, but I think that's why Jason and Freddy and Mike, they were just fun. You're like, all right, yeah, this is absurd. They should be dead by now because they died in 10 films, but fuck it, let's do this again. And that's why it's so hard to do. Like some paranormal stuff I'm okay with. Like I don't mind it, but I think some of it just gets, again, old. I just think it's like I've always been big in thrillers, so I think the psychological stuff's the shit I enjoy more. I think that just can get to me a little bit more.
I like psychological. I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay with a good like psychological thing. I just don't like the whole. Maybe I'm just squeamish, but the whole over the top violence thing I just can't do. I mean, I can do it. Obviously, clearly, I've watched Terrifier 3. I feel like I can do anything now, but I don't want to go out of my way to watch that.
No,
that stuff.
I'm never gonna watch. Well, I will see Terrifier 4. I feel like the journey, whenever that comes out, because I don't know if it's like next year or the year after, because I think it got pushed back. I'm not 100% sure. Like, it's supposedly the last. I've started this journey. I need to finish it. I'm not looking forward to it, but I just need to know. So, yeah, I'm not saying we're going to go to the theaters to see this. I'm not going to buy a bucket of popcorn and watch Terrifier 4, but no, I don't look forward to body horror. I don't think it works for me. But the Saw movies, yeah, I guess it's a little different because I don't feel like it's overly. I guess some of them were kind of pretty bad, but I don't know if they just show. I'm just trying to remember. None of them stand out. But that's another series where everything is connected, and yes, it's absurd, but I went along for the ride. So, yeah. That's all I got. That's all I got for you. I don't know if we want to still talk about these kind of movies. Christmas is right around the corner. We can watch some feel good movies, some happy movies. But yeah,
I'm gonna keep watching scary movies because it's what I do, man.
It's what we do.
That's what's available.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I just, like I said, right now, I don't know. I'm just trying to stay away from the Tubi shit, which is funny because I think I had a plan to watch all that Winnie the Pooh, all those really bad, public domain movies that have been coming out. I think Mickey Mouse had one, Peter, whatever. But I'm like, I don't think I'm going down this road. I want to watch decent movies, but we'll see. Oh, just give me a good story. That's all I need, Soda. That's what will make me happy. Keep me a good story. Keep me entertained. And I don't have to overthink. I don't,
Yeah.
That's all. That's it. Just go for the ride. So.
Keep it under 2 hours too, if you can.
If you go over,
if you can,
better be worth it. Keep me entertained. Don't make it feel like it's over 2 hours. When it's over and you're like, "Holy shit, that was 2 hours." That's a win. And you're like,
it is.
I think I can't remember the movie. I think there was an 80-minute movie I saw. For the 200 movie challenge, and even I got to a point not even halfway. I'm like, when is this over? I wish I could remember the name of it off the top of my head. I'm like, no,
40 minutes in.
Like I was like, I need this to be over.
Was that like Hubcap or something?
Oh god, yeah, that could be it. I mean, that honestly, that might not have been what I was thinking, but I think that got there pretty quick. That was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And that was because Madness suggested it, or I think he tagged me in something on social media. And even the people that made Hubcap answered me because they were like, I wanted to. I'm like, I'm not even going to send them a review. They were like, this is bad. Like, Rubber was bad. But I'm like, whatever. Yeah. At least it looked like a movie. They said, this is the plot. And I'm like, I'm just going with it. This is absurd. And it was bad. But it was kind of a cheesy bad where you can have, you're drinking, you're going to have a little fun with it. Hubcap, like it was all over the place, and the Killer Hubcap kind of stopped. It became this whole other political story, and I'm just like, no, I don't care about Democrats versus Republicans right now. Just give me the Killer Hubcap. That's all I want. I get it. Okay, they started off. They're like, okay, whatever. This is absurd. I'm in. All right, this guy who's trying to help women dies. His blood gets on the hubcap, and now the hubcap can move. Great, whatever. This is fine. And then it just went off this whole thing. I'm like, what? No, just give me some like rubber. It was so bad, Soto. It's not the worst thing I've seen. I think it's like the third worst. I think if I remember my list correctly. But yeah, you're right. That is a short movie, and it did not take me long to be like, I need this to be over now. I need this to be over. So when I watched it, I definitely did. Yeah. So but it was not an easy watch. Yeah, we watched some shit. We definitely did. I can't wait till we like get to the end and we just have our full list there and it's done and we just like, this is our list. This is our top whatever. Mine and yours. So it's almost done. Sorry, just got a headache thinking about Hubcap. That movie was not good.
It's all good, man.
Good. All right, Soto. I think that'll do it for us today. What did we learn? Go eat some Eggo ice cream sandwiches. Just check it out.
Yeah.
And there's other ones. Pop-Tarts make one. Reese's has one. But yeah, and then Rice Krispie treats. They're there, Soto. They are weird, but some of them are good. And maybe we'll talk about food next week. Who knows? But it always comes up. Oh, but if you see, I'm not saying go out and look for this because I kind of forget. If you do see a Cheez-Its pizza, just buy it. Tell me how it is. Just do it. I know you don't have to. Or at least tell me what store. I will go to a store. I've not seen it. I just know it exists, and maybe it got discontinued already. I'm not saying go on this journey and find the Cheez-Its pizza, but if you happen to be there and you see
take a look.
Well, I know. Well, like with the Eggo sandwiches, I knew they were at Shaw's because I looked it up, and I knew I was near a Shaw's. Like I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna look. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. And sure enough, it was there, and it was well worthwhile. So. All right, but that'll do it for We Have Thoughts. We'll probably be again next week, talk about football, who knows what else, whatever comes up to mind. We're getting close to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays, just mainly because of the food, Soto. That's a conversation for like food.
Coming up soon. We'll talk about that soon. Yeah, and I'm looking at my calendar, and it's right there, man.
I know.
Thanksgiving's right there, dude.
Around the corner, so. All right, but until next time, just have a good weekend.